what I mean by that is I hear a lot of individuals that are talking about coming off. Well, I am prepared to gain 5 or 10 pounds, right? That's fine, but that's not a third of your body weight, most likely, right? That's just natural gain. That's what even being on the treatment and lowering the dose and taking it at a different interval could lead to, right? So let me go back and say it again. The 5 or 10 pounds, maybe 15 for some of my fellas, or even 20, that's just what you can look forward to possibly when you titrate, you know. Good evening, good evening. We back to the Sundays. Back to the Sundays. It's been a little bit of time trying to get back with y'all, but I'm here. I am here. So, no real agenda. Hey, what's up, Jen? No real agenda. I just wanted to jump in and since it's been a while, you know what I'm saying, give y'all, a little bit of time, Q&A. It is what it is. Don't have no, specific topic or nothing like that. So, just jump in and just tell y'all what's been up with me, see what's up with y'all, and just kind of like talk to the community. So that's why we here. So basically, over this week I had a decent, or over the last 2 weeks I had a decent couple of weeks. Still, hey Michelle, how you doing? How you doing? Just pretty much like still rehabbing. I haven't really been able to work out the way I was, but I got a plan tomorrow. Me and my wife, we gonna work together. Just start some more light exercises and stuff like that. Just trying to like keep things rolling. You know what I mean? She's doing really well too. She's on the 7.5. She's down almost 20 pounds. So she's doing really well on the journey too. So she just want to keep on rolling. She's going into her either 12th or 13th week now. So for me, this would be week 47, I believe. Yeah, I think week 47. For those that are new here, I'm G's 101. D. Richardson, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad that you took some time out to join the chat here tonight. But like I said, I'm G's 101. I'm actually down 90 pounds, 28% of my, I've lost 28% of my body weight since starting back on January 5th. So this coming Friday will actually mark my 11th month, right? So I got about 10 pounds to go to actually leave obesity. You know what I mean? So that'll be my goal for December. That's pretty lofty to get 10 pounds in a month at this stage. But hey, JC, how you doing? Good evening. But I'm a try. You know what I mean? So, but this is a lifetime thing, so it ain't no rush. I'm on a 10 milligram. I've been on a 10 milligrams since I don't even need the glasses. I ain't reading nothing. I've been on the 10 milligram since September. So, well, I am reading the comments. Darian, what's up, man? How you doing? Yes, the obesity warriors are in the house. In the house. You did an amazing thing with that interview. You did with Charles. And I think a lot of people was excited to finally, get you, on the other side of that, the phone. You know what I mean? So that was big ups to you because that was big for you to actually, step in and, give everybody what they've been looking for, and that's Darian up close and personal. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. But yeah, so my recovery is going well. I don't have another appointment until January 2nd. 6 weeks, about 6 weeks, where I will actually go into a regular shoe. And probably be headed back to work a week or so after that. So I'm gonna enjoy my next this next 6 weeks or so, and just try to, like I said, work out and get some more weight off. 28% is good, but I like to get to that like 35. Where I'm down to like maybe like 210, you know what I mean? So let me throw my glasses on. We got somebody. Travel Techie 415 says I plateaued this week, but I lost 45 pounds on 5 milligrams solely on nutrition. May need to change my game plan. Well, I would ask like what week are you on? You know what I mean? Like because just knowing, and you lost 45 pounds on 5 milligram, but how many weeks have you been on? And is it really a plateau? You know what I mean? Or is there something that you might be able to do? So. Oh, Darian, the doc said I'm doing really well. I actually have I have this super expensive scar cream that I bought for my scar, and it's actually looking, really good. So, structurally I'm doing good. He took X-rays, so I'm happy about that. So he said 6 weeks I come back and see him, and then we'll go from there. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like where I'm at with that. So yeah, we just trucking right along, trucking right along. So I mean, I'm on, like I said, the 10 milligram. I want to get back to like trying to just do what it is that I can do. I'm gonna be doing those chair exercises. I've done a good deal of walking though, because I've actually like, went to like Sam's Club and Walmart and stuff like that in my free time, picking up things on my own, and Lowe's. So, that's a lot of walking, and I did that because I wanted to see, where I was really at. You know what I mean? I drive, but I ain't been driving too far. So I, I'm really taking it easy there. But everything's been so good. I mean, today I had a little bit more pain. Yeah, thanks, Darren. I had a little bit of pain from yesterday, but for the most part, I was okay. Today was kind of like the first time I had like some pain, but I get them zingers. With zingers, it's kind of like like a little stun. Like if you ever get, I don't know if anybody ever been hit with a stun gun, or like it was like a little shock. I've been getting that because the doctor told me that that's what I would get now at this point, since I'm about 5 weeks removed from surgery. 25 weeks. Okay, struggled this past week. Yeah, I would say definitely talk to your doctor, but you could possibly titrate up, you know what I mean? Because some would say that hey, beautiful, I'm colored. Nice to see you tonight in the chat. Happy birthday. So we got a birthday in the chat. Ira Hot Fries. It says happy birthday. So happy birthday, Ira. Ira Hot Fries. Today's your birthday. Yeah, that's amazing. Travel techie. Yeah, back to what we were talking about. So 7.5 is kind of like I think probably that first true I would say dose that kind of yields those results for a lot of people. So maybe talk to your doctor about titrating it to 7.5 and sit there, because if you lost 45 on 5, you could probably do the same thing on the 7.5. Most likely. So I would actually look into that, because again, these treatments were made to make things easier, not tougher. So we don't want to be, having a tough go of it if you definitely got a treatment and we're just not using that treatment. You know what I mean? Use the treatment, to your advantage. You know what I mean? And don't let it be hard, for you. So, yep. Because they definitely want for you to like talk to your doctor and then make sure that you're not just jumping on. I mean, just looking at titrating up, before you do all the stuff. But it sounds like you have, and you've been on 5 for, and if you're at just week 25, I mean, you've definitely, did your due diligence not to just titrate up, because some people have been on like 12.5 by then. You know what I mean? So it's good that you, kind of like took that time to, and even 15, so yeah, that's really good. Yes, please make sure to like the live, y'all. Like the live. Like I said, we ain't have no real agenda. I just wanted to come in and talk to y'all tonight. So that's what I did, because I felt like it's been a while, and I had some more time on my hands. So I figured I'd come in and say hi and just, shoot the breeze with y'all and just talk about, my recovery, and then like kind of where I'm at with everything, because I'm on my week 47, or just started my week 47 today. So, I just think back to like, I remember being on like week 8 and 9, when I did my first short, it seemed like so long ago when I, was debating whether or not I would ever pretty much get online and start talking about, my journey. So to come this far and actually have community like this, have my own channel and all of that is, something I didn't think I would be doing. So I'm actually, glad about that. We did have our event. So for everybody that actually was interested, I did post a little bit of it, right? So I actually posted a little bit of that probably maybe like a week after, so we got the video now, and I think I might have uploaded the video too, but it was decent, man. It was really, really, really decent. We basically have networking events for entrepreneurs and the people that do businesses or services, like if you have services and stuff like you want to get out there. We bring people together, different times of the year, and feed them, buffet style, and then we try to have a little entertainment, DJ and all. And it's just a fun time. We come up with different stuff. The next one is going to be April 12th. here on a Sunday. At the same place in suburban Philadelphia, right outside of Philadelphia in Jameson. So anybody that's actually interested or going to be near the Philly area, you know what I mean? I think y'all should, look to come out because it's a fun time. Hopefully I get some of the community to actually meet up one day. So I usually do post the flyers, but it's pretty much all you can eat buffet style. So it's an amazing time. We got a DJ, and the next one is going to be Boston. Our company name is Boston Babes, so it's gonna be Boston Babes in Blue. So and this particular time the one we had a few weeks ago was Cirque du Soleil theme. So basically, we had like a guy that was out there doing tricks with the fire and stuff like that. So a real good time. We just try to keep it decent. It's something new and interesting each time. Let's see what we got here in the chat. Thank you for beautiful. I'm colored. It's great to see you, G's, and I'm glad that you're recovering well. Appreciate that. And you got Darren is pretty much asking TG about the Zepbound. He says, yes, my doctor has been refusing to titrate me up, but I feel the pressure to lose the weight because I pay out of pocket for it. I don't think you should be being refused titration, at 25 weeks in. That doesn't really make any sense. You know what I mean? If you feel like you need to, you should be able to. You know what I mean? I don't see the danger, but maybe have a more detailed discussion and have him explain the whys. You know what I mean? But I mean, at this point, if you're paying out of pocket, you can pretty much do what you want. You know what I mean? If you're literally paying out of pocket, your doctor is not even really in control. You know what I mean? You can go through, Lilly Direct, Row, different places and get your medication if your doctor is not. You can fire your doctor. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is that I do. I'll fire my doctor in a minute. I fired my wife's doctor when she started that. I'll wait till you get diabetic before I treat you. No, we ain't doing that. That's not gonna happen. So I was asking about how you're doing on your first Thanksgiving. Oh, Thanksgiving while taking Zepbound. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So what's funny is my actual. I was actually prescribed Zepbound last Thanksgiving. That's when I was prescribed. I didn't start till January 5th because I didn't want to have a tough go of it, with Thanksgiving being around. I did pretty well, Darian. I actually posted my plate. I don't know if I put it on YouTube. I think I put it on Instagram. But some of y'all follow me on Instagram, so you would see it. I had one of those sectional plates, right? But it was a little bit of everything in that plate. I did really well, I think I had a little bit of everything, Now, I think I went a little more crazy the day after, because I didn't use that, and I was kind of eating like the leftovers, you know what I mean? So, and I didn't use that. Well, I think I did, but, I kind of like went in a little bit. But I've been able to pretty much maintain. I mean, I'm up like maybe a couple of pounds, but nothing crazy. I was 229, during that last live. I think right now I'm probably like 231. So I probably went up like 2 pounds, but, that could be some irregularity and stuff like that. I don't think it really... I don't think Thanksgiving really had that much of an impact because I was so full. I took my shot on Friday night. I took it Friday late, really late, because we take our shots on Friday, me and my wife. So she actually took hers Saturday. But generally we take it on Friday, so we took it really late so we would be able to eat. Because believe it or not, on Thanksgiving Day, I ate pretty late. I only ate the one meal. I did an OMAD day. I only ate one meal that day. Because I knew I had to save some room. So that's what I did. I saved room and I just waited, So we ate pretty early. We ate around like 4. By 4 o'clock, everything was ready to go, and we ate. So that was decent. But the next day, I felt like I probably didn't eat enough. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to wait and take my shot late. You know what I mean? And that's what I did, so I was able to eat. But then lo and behold, Saturday, I was full, really, really full again, So that's kind of what it does to me. It makes me really full. So I said, well, I'll just wait. But Thanksgiving overall was really good. I had my kids was here and, we kept it light. It was just my immediate fam. And, like I said, it was really, really good. Their reason for not titrating me up, they said, is because I've been very successful on 5 milligrams so far. But success can't just be based on the scale, right? You know what I mean? I don't know your starting weight. You know what I mean? I don't know how tall you are. I don't know the details, but based on that, it can't just be based on weight. You know what I mean? It has to be based on other factors if you have comorbidities, and I don't know that. So, I can't speak to that. So I understand that, but if you're actually having food noise and things of that nature, and you're at danger of, moving in the wrong direction, then I don't think it's like horrible. Because again, it's not like you ask them to move you to the 15. You know what I mean? 7.5 is still, you know, it's a mid dose, but still low dose. You know, a high dose generally is considered a 10, 12.5, or a 15. 7.5 is kind of like middle of the pack. It should be pretty, and it's very safe. So, I mean, again, I would give a little bit of pushback there if you really feel like, you know, you need. Again, I don't know your starting weight or where you are, but at 25 weeks, at 25 weeks, 25 weeks, I think I had lost like 70 pounds or 75 pounds, something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm probably like 75 pounds in by then. So 45 pounds depends on it depends on your, you know, like a lot of things, a lot of factors. So, you know, I can't really speak to it all because, but that shouldn't be just because you lost 45 pounds so far over, you know, a 6-month period, you know, that they feel like you shouldn't be able to titrate up. So. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, 45 pounds is decent, you know, depending on how much weight you have to lose. But you have some people who've lost 100 pounds in 45, you know, and I mean 25 weeks. You know what I mean? I think Round Mill, I think he was probably at about like 90 something, almost 100 pounds at 25 weeks. So it's not necessarily the weight. You just need more information. You know what I mean? How do you define stall versus plateau, or when to consider titration? So a stall or plateau would be if you've been at the same exact weight for more than a month, right? So if you've been there for more than a month, right, and you know that you're doing all the things, right? You've been getting hydrated properly. You got the nutrition going. You know, let's see, yeah, you got your titration, you got you got your hydration, you got your nutrition going, and you're doing some movement. You know, if you're doing all of that and you literally stalling for like a month, then, you know what I mean, that's time you can start having the conversation. But they might say, hey, give it another month, you know, where, you know, you might have to go, you know, 2 months kind of at that weight. That might be a little long. I think most physicians and stuff might say you could give them 6 weeks. Give them 6 weeks and you literally the same exact thing. Then they'll say, hey, you know, maybe we should titrate up, depending on where you are, you know. So, how long has it been you have not lost? Oh, I think is that for oh, okay. I think she's talking to Travel Techie. What's up, Teddy? How you doing, man? Actually, I think I caught your video earlier, you know, and you said you were on 7.5 now. So congrats on your titration up, you know. You're on your way to the big leagues, man. Do you plan to stay there, or are you planning on continue to titrate up to maybe the 10 for maintenance or whatever, Teddy? So, and then for like me, you know, like I've thought to myself, I think 10 was like I said, the end of the road. But I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, I'm 11 months in. I'm not, you know, I mean, you know, which is 47 weeks or whatever. I'm not like, you know, 88 weeks or 90 weeks or 100 weeks. So that's a whole nother side of the coin, which a lot of people are at now. So I can't speak. I mean, I'm on the 10. So I can't say that I won't be at the 15 at the end of my journey, or I mean, at the end of my actual weight loss. And, you know, when I actually start maintenance, because, you know, there's a possibility. I don't really see that as something I want to do, but I'll do whatever's necessary. You know what I mean? If when I start, you know, like on tomorrow, when I get to working out a little bit more intently, and I start to not see movement, then I'm not opposed to titrating up a little bit. You know, maybe I'll try the 12.5 if I don't get where I want to go, because most people know that my initial goal was to get to 219, which would take me out of obesity. You know, and my lowest weight so far has been 229. You know, which is 28.2%. So, you know, getting to 219 was my first goal, which I wanted to do within a year. And I'm just, you know, a little more than 10 pounds away from that. So, you know, if I get to that, then, you know, so be it. But if I have an issue, then yeah, I will titrate. I'll go to the highest dose that I need to, you know what I mean? And that's because the whole point was to lose weight, you know, get out of obesity comfortably, you know what I mean? So that's why my first goal was 219. And my ultimate goal is to be about 200 pounds, because that would put me, you know, right around a 26.9 BMI, which is, you know, like, you know, just like slightly overweight, you know what I mean? And I would, you know, it actually reduces the opportunity to to develop like certain cancers and things like that. So that's why my ultimate goal could be about 200 pounds because I'd be comfortably away from. But if I don't get there and I end up at like 210, 215, I ain't complaining, you know. And I wouldn't see that as a, that would still be something that I'm happy with. But again, my initial goal still is to get to 219. That would be, victory for me because it will put me out of obesity, right? So Teddy said, I'll probably go up at some point. Doc has already put it in, but not ready to move and join 7.5. Oh, you already put it in. All right. So you about to come to join us on the dark side with the 10 milligram, the big boys. Yeah. Well, let me know. How that go, man. So I've been on 10 since September. So I got about almost 3 months under my belt. So of being on the 10 now. So. I'm just working my way through. So I want to just start working out and see if I can get to where I want to go. You know what I mean? Because I just been bouncing around. With this recovery, I just been kind of bouncing around because initially when I first started, I was walking like crazy and, doing my resistance training, So, and it's gotten harder to do with all of the issue because those that was on my last live actually got to find out that I had a little bit of knee pain. So that's what kind of happened. I had a knee pain in my left knee, but that was actually due to me bearing all of my weight on that left side because I couldn't do any load bearing on the right side. That's kind of what it was. Because I can sit here today and say it pretty much subsided. Like I was sitting down having pain. Now I don't have any pain sitting here. But when I actually do try to go upstairs, I still do have some of that pain, but I think that's really what that is. I do have another doctor's appointment Friday just to go ahead and, check that out. But I think I'm okay as far as that. But I will be, like I said, starting to do, some of my more of that resistance training and make sure my pounds, because if my pounds stall, I don't play around. I'll go up too. You know what I mean? And the reason I say that is because, I know a lot of people in our community, and we shouldn't be comparing ourselves, right? Because we're all very, very different. But a lot of our community has had, they've had bariatric surgery. A lot of them, you know what I mean? And so a lot of them are now coupling the pen as another side of their therapy, right? I don't have that, that advantage. So I do kind of like reel myself in sometimes when I be thinking, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Some of these people have the pen plus have had bariatric surgery on top of that. So, like I'm probably not going to lose the way they lose. So, because some of them might say, well, hey, you don't need to titrate up. You already had this. But with me being someone that don't have the other advantage of that bariatric surgery, I don't know what I might need. You know what I'm saying? Because now everything is a lot tougher. As you get smaller, it gets tougher to actually keep moving. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like where I could see myself actually having a little struggle because I also suffer with the osteoarthritis in different parts of my body. So, sometimes I can't move as much as I want to. So if I have to go up, I'll go up. You know what I mean? I have no shame in getting to wherever I needed to 12 and 15. Even with them saying, hey, all you're going to see is about a 2% loss on average on the 15, I think I'll beat it. And the reason why I say I think I'll beat that is because the average loss on this drug is 21%, right? I've already lost 28%, right? So I beat the averages, you know what I'm saying? So I think somebody like me, that could yield me another 10%, you know what I mean? Believe it or not, me actually titrating up. And if you think about what I just said, I'm still 30 pounds away from my 10 pounds away from my goal, my initial goal, 30 pounds away from what would put me into, that clarity of, health where you don't have to worry about some of the comorbidities and the cancers and other diseases, which would like 199 pounds, so I'm 30 pounds off of that. So, you know what I mean? So whatever it takes to get that 30 pounds is what I'm going to do. And if that means I'll be on the 15, I'll be wherever I need to go. It's just simple as that. You know what I mean? Because again, there are people that actually have even superseded that, but again, they have multiple tools. They have the different weight loss surgery along with the pen. I'm literally just have the pen. That's it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I see it. Jen says I always move due to food noise, not necessarily weight loss. Yeah, Jen. I mean, you got to do what works for you, and if you know it, yeah, keep doing it. My thing is, as far as me, I always go back to tell people I moved a lot, even before I got to this point of using the pen for treatment, but I never could lose enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just never could lose enough. Because I didn't have a really, really bad diet to begin with. You know, I just knew, that's why I know I had the disease of obesity, because I would gain weight, but I eat better than everybody else. I see people around me eating a lot of junk food, cakes, candies, and all, you know, stuff like that. And I always ate really well, you know what I mean? But I still would gain more weight than other people, even with basic workouts, you know? So I knew I needed, you know, I do suffer from that obesity. Darian, I have learned that so many people have so many different experiences on these meds. I'm excited that people find what works, doesn't work for them. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But I know a lot of times, just as human nature, you know what I'm saying? When we get on here, right? I'm sharing, that person's sharing, and then the most immediate thing we can see is their numbers, right? That's the main thing we see. Is like, well, what's their number? Their number is, you know, this or that, and then that's what we actually look at. You know what I mean? Like, look at their numbers. But obviously, we have different comorbidities, number one, but there are also different tools that a lot of times we put in the back of our mind and aren't thinking about. You know, if this person is at 180 pounds and I'm still at 220 pounds, and yet I'm on a 10 milligram like that person, and we doing all of the things, right? And it's not necessarily, you know, working for me in the same way, but yet that person also had bariatric surgery. That matters. You know what I'm saying? That really matters. So when I'm doing the whole thing, and I'm just saying, like, we are human, you know what I mean? So you're naturally going to, like, right away say, hey, these are my peers, and you know, it ain't even about a competition, but like, okay, we on the same treatment, we at the same level, but I'm not necessarily getting that extra oomph. So, and again, it's not about comparing, but when you look at it, it's like, well, why not? Oh, well, I forgot. This particular person also had bariatric surgery. You know, let's not leave that out. That's a big one there. Like, you know, I mean, that's huge. You know what I mean? You had bariatric surgery and a treatment. So naturally, you're probably going to see a bigger percentage than me in general, you know? So now let me go back to it, because it wasn't about just comparing the percentages. It was about titration. My point here is about titration, and not feeling guilty about titrating beyond where you are. Because some people, we know there's a thing out there about titration, whether it be up, down, coming off the drug, it's like all of this stuff, right? But if you are, let's say, on a big boy dose like the 10, and you say, well, hey, you know, I might actually have to get to that 15 because I don't have that restriction or that surgery or whatever. So I shouldn't be saying, well, I should be able to do what you're doing, because you have that restriction in place as well that I don't have. You know, you have two things working for you. So since I don't have the two things, I might have to actually jump up to 15, where you actually could stay on the 10 and be okay and lose everything, right? So, but I am a believer in giving it time. You know what I mean? So I only say all that to say, in my mind, I'm not afraid to say, hey, I needed to move up to 12. I needed to move up to 15 to get however much my last little bit of weight is off, you know, because again, I want to get it off. Okay, so we got Stealth Health India. So I do appreciate you jumping in. Finally made one of my lives. I believe we might have spoken in the past. I'm not sure, but thank you for tuning in tonight. Hey there, from Darian. JC says, at Teddy, I think for me, it helps to focus on percentages. Even my own percentage is different at every milestone. So why would I compare to someone else? Own percentages in pounds. Yes. So JC, I always tell everybody focus on the percentage and not the pounds, right? Because we're different heights, different body shapes, all of those things. So that's why I preach this. If you go back and ask them, I say, what's your percent? What's your percent? Don't worry about the pounds. Worry about your percentage thus far, and that evens it up. Like, I'm a male, right? I'm 6 foot tall, whereas a lot of people in this journey is a 5'4" woman, right? You're 5'4". So we don't compare in any way, but we can see percentage, right? From the time that, you know, weeks on the drug plus the percentage of what you've done in that time, you know, on your journey. And that can give you an idea of, like, you know, but it's not to compare, because this wasn't about comparing weight to weight and things of that nature, or comparing people. It was about tools, right? And not forgetting that there are a lot of people on our journey that actually have more tools, right? So you shouldn't feel guilty about using all the tools at your disposal. That's what I mean, you know? And so you shouldn't feel guilty about, good morning. Wow, 4:15. That's crazy. It's 4:15 in India? Wow, that is crazy. That's crazy. But thank you for joining at 4:15. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. That is early. That is early. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so don't allow yourself to feel guilty in general. You just shouldn't. You know what I mean? But I say all that to say, don't forget that. And the times I even in my head, I'm like, well, I'm on the 10, they on the 10. Like, I should be able to do, well, just being on. But you know what? The treatment was made to go to a certain extent because that extent might be needed. You know what I mean? And that was to lose 20% of your body weight, 20 to 21% of your body weight, up to 15 milligrams in 72 weeks, right? So if I put it in perspective, I'm 11, almost 11 months. I'm 47 weeks, 28%. So I've already beat, what it is by 7 or 8%. What the promise that Lily or the projection that Lily makes by 7 or 8%. But I'm not afraid to use the tool as far as I need to use it without having guilt. Because again, we say these things, but we all know we still think about it. It's still in your mind, like, hey, what would it look like, if I'm going up to this amount? What would that look like? Me explaining that, you know what I mean? And obviously, you don't have to explain it, but since we're a community, we do share everything with each other in regards to our weight loss journey. So that's something we're going to talk about. People are going to ask, well, what made you do it? I did it because I needed to. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like, you know what I mean? And we can't necessarily, and again, like I said, it's not about comparing, but you got to really think about it. When you're having a conversation, sometimes it gets lost in the sauce, right? Sometimes it gets lost in the sauce, And what I mean by that lost in the sauce is if an individual had weight loss surgery and you literally only using the treatment, I really don't think it's fair to even have the conversation, as to like y'all on the same dose, right? But you probably are going to lose more than that person because you have 2 treatments working for you at one time, right? You got 2 treatments. You have 2 treatments working for you at one time. Nice job, Michelle. So 34% since March. That's cool. That's cool. That's what you want, man. I mean, 34% is great. And if I'm correct, I think you said you still got like 45 pounds to lose. So that's going to put you, at a very high percentage. So that's really good. 34% is very, very, very decent. Like I said, I mean, I'm 28%, and that's 28% for me was after, losing over 90 pounds. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So with you, I'm not sure what your weight was, but I mean, 34% is very, very, very decent. So that's good. That's good. It took me 90 pounds. Just to put percentage in perspective for people, I'm 6 foot tall with 320 pounds, and it took me 90 of those pounds to get to 28%. So, you know what I mean? If you're talking 34, usually, you know what I mean, you're knocking on the door of even being a female of that, or like maybe slightly more. You know what I mean? So that's amazing. See, Jen, there you go. The GOAT. 48%. That's insane. Jen, the 48%, Jen, that is crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, Jen. So, oh, congrats, Michelle. So okay, so yeah, so you right there with me then. You right there with me, cause it looks like, what is that? If my math is right, isn't that like 92 pounds? Yeah. So you right there with me then. So, but your percentage is going to be higher because you're shorter. You know what I mean? And as a female with less weight, but it's really, really good to be, at that percentage. Those percentages mean everything. 16% in 22 weeks. That's a good job. That's amazing. That's actually amazing because semaglutide actually, I think, boasts like right around 16%. So you've already beat that if you are on Zepbound. Yes. 16.6% at 20 weeks, 46 plus pounds down. Yeah, that's amazing, JC. Amazing. That's actually where you want to be, because I mean, you're gonna, at that rate, you'll probably end up, somewhere around 30%, or more, 50 pounds in 5 months. Yeah, that's amazing. Conquering kilograms, and you're on Manjaro. Yeah, my wife, yep. So we basically, me and my wife are on Zepbound, so we are both on Zepbound. And like I said, she is only done in 12 weeks. She's actually down, literally 18 pounds, which is really, really, really good. So. Okay, insulin sensitivity. JC says, I think having insulin sensitivity as a type 1 helps a lot. Yes, that is a journey that most probably don't understand. I mentioned my dad is a type 1 diabetic as well. So people are really familiar with type 2, but type 1 is a different journey. Yeah, congrats to everybody. I think that's absolutely amazing to actually be, just rolling along and getting the weight off. So, but yeah, my point was I just was just these are things that are in my mind when I'm thinking about maintenance, and getting there. Because I'm not in maintenance, and I don't know when I'll be in maintenance. You know what I mean? Maintenance will be start for me once I hit my goals, because I'm gonna hit my goals. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll do whatever it takes to get those goals. You know what I mean? I hope it doesn't take like retatrutide or something like that to get me there, but um, low dose retatrutide. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I need that. Because with me losing 28% on tirzepatide and I didn't reach the highest dose, I really believe with proper all of the things. So when I say all of the things, I mean hydration, nutrition, doing the physical work that I can do, walking and the weightlifting and aerobic exercise. I really think I could get to that 35 to 37% that I'm looking for on this drug. I don't think I need retatrutide. I just need to do all of the things and titrate up if I need to. And this drug is absolutely enough for me. Because I mean, realistically, if I get there, that means I'll be down 120 pounds. You know what I mean? For me to be at the BMI that some people talk about, I would have to be at like 182. You know what I mean? To be in what they call a healthy range. You know what I mean? So, or 180. That would put me that's like 50 pounds. You know what I mean? I don't have a desire to go down 50 more pounds. I just don't. So I already don't see myself being at a 24 BMI, 23, because I'm not going down 50 pounds. I'm just not. Just looking at my own body, being a 6 foot male, just looking at my body parts, I literally only have weight in the spare tire. I don't have weight anywhere else on my body. Like, I mean, my face is significantly small. I might have a small bit of weight there. My arms, I don't have big arms, big legs. My legs are really small. So I don't have a lot of weight. The only weight I have is literally around my waist. Where I feel like if I lose another 30 pounds, that'll be really small. And if I want to go cosmetic and get a little bit of I don't really feel like I would need a tuck or anything, but if I want to get like, a little bit of that subcutaneous that's lingering around, kind of removed, I'll do that. But that's probably as far as I would ever go, because I literally don't have fat anywhere else. I mean, you could go and see my pictures. Like, I mean, even my feet are thin. You know what I mean? I don't have, it's just literally like right around that waist, where I need to get the rest of that, 30 pounds up out of there, So that's the thing. We chasing fat, not weight now. You know what I mean? We're not chasing. So that's why you can't just look at the basic scale. You got to really dive into your fat, right? Because the ideal body fat for a man that would be considered really, really healthy is about 20%, right? I actually posted a chart, if you go back and look at my post about that, if you get like to like 20%, right now I'm right around 30%. I'm right around that 30%. My BMI is a 31. Right? So my BMI is at 31. My BMI when I started was at 43. I started at 43. Let me go back because JC said. Thanks, Michelle. We're all those. You will get there, G's. Your mind and body are pretty in sync. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I will get there. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get there. Stealth Health in India says I have most weight in my lower body, especially with the PCOS belly. Okay, yes, I have to deep dive and figure out what works for me. Yeah, for sure. And PCOS is definitely something that the ladies actually suffer with. That they have to really kind of like work on, and it causes them a lot of issues that appear as side effects that might be on the drug that might actually be related to that. So they do have a harder job with that. Wow, geez, you've come a long way. Absolutely. Me being at a 43 and being at 31, like my BMI is 31 right now, from 43 to 31, like, you know what I mean? So I think that's an absolutely amazing job, to go from clinically obese to being at a 31, to literally just qualifying, because if I didn't have comorbidities, I do have hypertension. So that was basically my comorbidity. I had some cholesterol, high cholesterol too. As of late, not now, but when I first got on the drug. So those would have been comorbidities. So I was still qualified at 27, if I had a BMI of 27. which would probably be around. So even though I was 200 pounds, I still could qualify for the drug. You know what I mean? With the comorbidities. But if I didn't have the comorbidities, I would pretty much have to be right around where I'm at, you know, like 230 to right, like 225 to actually qualify for the drug at my height, right? So that's what I'm saying. If I can get that 30 pounds off, you know, I really want to be there, because then it would be like, okay, I don't qualify for the drug, so to speak, as a newbie, right? I would still qualify for the drug, but I mean as a newbie, because my BMI would be below a 27, right? And I don't want to be you know, like I said, at a 24 anyway, because I would have to get to like 180 pounds, and that's just too small for me. 180 pounds is very small. Again, my son is 150 pounds, and he's 5'7". You know, he plays football, but he's an in-shape guy. Like, the guy has no midsection. He's just all chest, shoulders, arms, and legs. You know, his legs are tremendously strong. So he don't have a midsection, really. So it's all about body recomp. You know, I know that, you know, but 180 for me would be very small. I don't want to be that small. I think I was 180 in like the 8th grade. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm at 6 feet tall. And then with my body part, I mean, even my hands, like, I have big hands, you know, feet. Big body parts. So I know that, you know, if you dive into the whole BMI thing, it's probably actually more appropriate that I get to about 200 pounds, or like 199. That's probably appropriate for my body, right around 26, 27. 24 BMI wouldn't be appropriate for my body. So that's why I also tell people is make sure that you actually are not just, you know, diving in and leaving everything up to BMI, because BMI could be skewed for you. You know, your body parts could be, you know, and I'm talking about bone, right? Your bone density and stuff like that. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room with that, you know what I mean, with the BMI, if that's what you're using, because, you know, and body fat, right? Because with the BMI, a safe BMI is probably more like 26, you know, not 24. You know, people say healthy weight BMI is 24. It's probably more like 26, not 24, not 24. So, you know, and I just say that because, again, the way that BMI was created, it was very generalized, you know. So if you dive in and if you see yourself at a 25, 26, you probably at a healthy BMI, you know what I mean? You might not need to get to this 22 that a lot of people are told, well, you get to a 22, 23 BMI, you're really healthy. But, you know, I mean, sometimes I'm like, have you seen some of the people that are doing that? You know, some of the people, and especially we have a lot of high female rate of community. Some of those people are 108 pounds, 110 pounds, you know? So, and I'm like, you know, what would you feel like at 120, you know, 125, you know? So I just think, like, take the BMI with a grain of salt, you know? You 5'9"? Wow, that is a tall person. Yeah, you're a tall person. So for you at 5'9", you're probably gonna try to be like in the 160 range. Is that like your goal? What's your goal, Stealth Health? Because if you are 5'9", you probably want to, probably like around 160. I don't know where you started, but that probably would put you at like a safe range, maybe even 170. You know, like 170. You probably don't need to, you know, go as far as you might think. Good looking, Darian. Darian be on it. Darian is actually like a managing moderator, so anytime I come on, he has that power to like just you know, sweep the chat of all those silly comments and stuff like that. So yeah, but like I said, I just wanted to jump on here and like holler at everybody and, you know, give them, you know, a little bit of time. And oh, it started at 338. Okay. So 338, 5'9". So your BMI was probably a little higher than mine. Probably like, you know, like the upper 40s. Yeah, probably the upper 40s. So, you know, yeah. So, you know, hey, I'm glad you got on. Brown man, what up, man? I know it's a little early over there on the coast, man. You know, y'all about 3 o'clock, I think, something like that. You know, we evening time in these parts. So hopefully your 49ers won. When I saw earlier, they was losing. So. Cause my Eagles ain't done. Oh, 199. Okay, cool. That'll be good. Targeting at 199. Yeah, see, that's really good. And being 180. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good. I think that is, and that's what I mean. It's very sensible. You know what I mean? Like if we get right around that 26, 27 BMI, that's all as far as you probably need to go. You probably don't need to go to like 22, 23, 24. That's probably a little bit small. You know, based on, you know, preference. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully y'all won. Because like I said, my Eagles, you know, we've been trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? The last couple weeks, you know what I mean. We ain't been able to figure it out. So well, that's not being able to figure. I mean, we playing like we ain't got no heart. You know what I mean? So you know, but I got trust in my boys. I think they'll be fine. Beautiful, I'm cutting. Thank you, G's. I am headed over to Sweet Tea channel for the next live. Have a wonderful evening, great week. Okay, cool. Thank you, beautiful, I'm colored. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks, and tell Sweet Tea and the rest of the ladies over there. Hello, hello, hello. I didn't even see she had a live. Maybe she didn't schedule it. So maybe she didn't schedule it. But yeah, I definitely like I said, I wanted to hop in and talk to my folks because I hadn't talked to y'all in a while. So you know what I mean. But yeah, we was talking about like I said, the BMI, you know, and how you know I don't necessarily believe that should be what we looking at, what we going after. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that is I think they should. I think they are looking at it, but I think they should adjust it slightly. You know what I mean? By like 2 points. Because I think it would have people, you know, actually ending up being more healthy. I saw the schedule. She had a lot scheduled for 2:58. They must have just. Oh, okay, okay. So she had an earlier schedule live and probably couldn't do it, and now she jumped on. Okay. Okay. Well, 2:58. Wait a minute. Is that your time? Because if it's your time, then that means that our time would be 5:58. So maybe, you know, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. My morning started. Happy December. Oh yeah, you definitely should. 4:15. So I get, what is it, around 5? Is it 5 now over there in India? 5 a.m. Yeah, 5 a.m. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so you know, anybody that want to go check her channel out, cool. Like I said, you know, definitely support. But like I said, I haven't done one in a while, so I wanted to jump in and just talk to everybody, see what questions people had, and you know, do something a little bit different. So I am going to try to get back to doing my Sundays, Sunday evenings, because I think this is a really good time. Like I said, I won't actually be back to work till beginning of January, so I'll have some time to really jump in. I do have some stuff I have to work on for work, but outside of that, I'll be able to hop on a little bit. So I think I'll jump in every Sunday, like I was before, and I'll probably do a midweeker. I'll do a midweek. You know, that way I can jump in and do a little something in the middle of the week. You know, and then come back because, like I said, I didn't do a topic today because I wanted to. A lot of times we jump in and we take, you know, a whole bunch of time doing a topic and don't get people the opportunity to really ask questions and stuff like that. So I wanted to actually give people, you know, time to ask questions. So I'll probably schedule my next one a little bit ahead of time. I really scheduled this one just a couple of hours within the day, but I'll try to like probably schedule one tomorrow or whatever, so everybody knows. So we'll have, you know, kind of get everybody in the chat and then more participation. And I'll probably come with, you know, some information or an agenda for the next live. But you know, like I like to still grow my channel and probably in the new year, you know, I'll feature my wife on one because I know Twan said she wanted me to get her in. Just dropped in to show some love. Wife and I are headed to the picture. Oh, that's what's up, Round Man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for showing in, for dropping in. Enjoy y'all movie, man. Appreciate that. Picture show. That's old school. That's old school. That's what's up. But yeah, I'm not gonna you know, hold everybody. Yeah. Up tonight. But like I said, I'll jump in with probably like an agenda. We actually went to see Predator. I took my kids to see the Predator. That was really good. Probably last week. That was really good. So Running Man, okay, that should be really good. Predator was really good, you know, because I really liked that back in the day, and seeing it now, I took my kids though, but yeah, so it was decent. So, but yeah, enjoy that movie, man. Enjoy that movie. So, but like I said, I'll probably schedule a live. I'm gonna schedule a live. Probably I'll schedule one for next Sunday so everybody is aware, and then I'll probably do one midweek, just letting people know about it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'll come with some like I said, with more of an agenda. You know, talk about some things. And then get into, you know, question and answer, you know, so that way everybody feel like got time. But again, still an effort to grow my channel. You know, I like to come in and do these lives and give some new people opportunity to visibly, you know, catch me and, you know, talk to me. I know most of our existing community have a lot of pre-existing, you know, obligations and stuff like that. So I like to, you know, schedule it to everybody. And everybody got their channels and they're attempting to grow and do their thing. But I know some of y'all go live all the time. I don't. So I just wanted to jump in, like I said, and you know, do one since I haven't done one in a while. So, All right, so it's Sunday. I'm gonna go ahead and watch my Sixers. Hopefully we get a win. We play in Atlanta. Hopefully we get a win tonight. Since my Eagles don't play, they play Friday and lost. So that's what it is. But I just wanted to hop in, give everybody an update. I want to say hi everyone, happy Sunday. Hey, Sweatpants and Champagne. Nice for you to jump in. I just kind of, came in because I hadn't been here doing a live in a while. I know a lot of people jump in and do lives regularly. I don't. So I just wanted to jump in and, like I said, update people. So please catch the replay, because I'm about to wrap it up now. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I always like to end all of my videos. Obesity Warriors, we're in this together. So Obesity Warriors, stand up. Have a good evening. Later.